My name is Julia Petrova and I'm part of Viking product development team. Today we're in St. Petersburg, Russia, my hometown. The city I was born and raised, the city which I love with all of my heart. And today I want to show you St. Petersburg as I see it. Show you the places which I hold dear. Let's go!
Great towers and palaces endow the bustling banks with grace and splendor. From every corner of the earth come vessels, jostling to the berths at these rich wharves. Now to defend her, our city banks are granite cased, fair bridges interlace her waters, and verdant parks bedeck those quarters with which the islands have been graced. So our young capital's aurora put ancient Moscow in a shade, just as the nude Serena's aura must make the empress mother fade. Oh, how I love you, Peter's daughter, your aspect graceful yet austere, Neva augustly flowing water, and granite banks, this I hold dear. This is the abstract from the Bronze Horseman, the poem written by Alexander Pushkin, which every Russian teenager learns by heart at school. This is probably the exact concept of how St. Petersburg is seen by many tourists. They expect to see white streets, gilded cupolas, exquisite architecture, and it is all there, but not only. St. Petersburg is not only grand and glossy, it is not only an open-air museum, it is also homey, and to great pleasure of all the citizens, it started to get developed to the needs of the local people, and not only tourists. There are urban developments, repurposing of the unused areas and former factories to multifunctional recreational spaces, one of which I will show you later on. There are new roads, stadiums, parks, and new apartment buildings. The question of dwelling has always been very important to St. Petersburg and became an acute problem in the beginning of the 20th century, and then also later after the Second World War, when the city was heavily bombed. After war, most of the flats in downtown were communal. Some of them still exist. There is an interesting video on this topic done by Grina Hagen. Let's watch it.
I'm off to visit a typical Soviet Russian home. It's called the Kommunalka, and if you come along you can see for yourselves. In the early 20th century, the Russian nobility lived in grand city flats. That lifestyle changed abruptly with the creation of the Kommunalka following the 1917 revolution, when the Soviets confiscated the large apartments and converted them to hold multiple families. Each family was allocated one private room and then shared the bathroom and the kitchen. I mustn't shake his hand across the doorway because that means bad luck. Привет! Almost everyone grew up in a kommunalka, even presidents like Vladimir Putin. While other choices are available today, many Russians still choose and enjoy this way of life. In this flat, it was your great-grandmother who lived here, then your grandmother...
Mama, прабабушка, бабушка, мама...
Mother...
Я,
him,
и теперь уже моя
and
семья.
now his young son. So it's many generations of Ivan's family. And we'd like to show you just a little bit around how a communal flat works.
Да, пойдем руки помоем.
Okay, he said, first of all, we're going to wash our hands. Russians are quite proper with when you come off the street, you put off your outdoor shoes, put on your slippers, and you wash your hands. So we're going to have to do that first, and then I'll show you the flat. In this flat, of course, there's only one bathroom. Every family has their own soap, so I'm taking Ivan's family soap and washing my hands. There we go. And then there are 6 towels in here as well, yes? 1 per family. Okay, спасибо. Чисто.
Пожалуйста.
Clean. Now we're in part of the kitchen. This is where the families keep their cups and saucers and pans. So you can see that this is Vanya's part of the kitchen. And these other sections belong to his neighbors. And if you follow me, we'll go into where all the stoves are. So here we're in the kitchen, and there's usually 1 stove per family. So in this flat, there are 6 families, so there are 6 stoves in this kitchen. Shall we go to your living quarters? Okay. Пошли.
Да, пошли.
Okay. We found a little boy out in the hallway. This is Maxim. This is Maxim.
Максим, покажем тебе комнату нашу спальную, и которая одновременно является...
This is Ivan and his family's sleeping room. where the whole family sleeps. This is also doubling up as Ivan's study. Ivan's a professor at the university, so he has lots of books. Shall we go find your wife?
Да, пойдемте
Yeah.
посмотрим.
Привет, Vika. Привет. The Kommunalka brings together families of vastly different educational backgrounds, ethnicities and habits, and has been a core experience for generations of Russians. Now you can learn about the Kommunalka from the inside with Viking cruises. Our home visits provide the opportunity to enjoy a rare glimpse into a living part of the Soviet past. Experiencing the Kommunalka is an important key to understanding Soviet culture and unlocking the Russian soul.
Luckily, the number of communal flats go down, and most of the population have their own flats. If you have been to St. Petersburg before, you might not even know about such flats, as most of the people who come to St. Petersburg rarely go beyond the so-called Golden Triangle of St. Petersburg, area shaped by Nevsky, Neva and Fontanka River. But just few steps away, there are so many interesting places, full of history and considerably less crowded. One of these places is Kolomna Historic District. I marked Nevsky with red line and circled Kolomna. It is literally 1 metro station away from Palace Square. Kolomna is surrounded by water from all 4 sides. By Moik River from the north, Krukov Canal from the east, Fontanka from the south and Neva from west. The district is formed by 2 islands. The smaller southern island is called Pokrovsky, but people call it Lach Kolomna, and northern island Kolominsky, which is bigger in size but still nicknamed Small Kolomna. Green building behind me is Mariinsky Theatre. It stands right on the border of Kolomna, and here we start our walk today. No one knows for sure why the area is called so. Some say that workers who moved to St. Petersburg in the 18th century from a small village of Kolominska near Moscow brought the name of the settlement together with them, and the area they started to live in got the similar name. However, there are many other versions. One of them says that Kolomna is just a twisted pronunciation of the word colony, Colonia, which was the name of the areas where foreigners used to live. In fact, there were numerous colonies of the foreign migrants, especially from Italy and Germany. The city needed architects and engineers, and people from all over Europe came to the huge construction site which St. Petersburg was at that time. The history of Kolomna started in 1730, when workers of Admiralteyskaya shipyard started to build their houses here. But why here? As you know, the city was founded in 1703, and by 1730s, the city has grown right to this area, so it was a logical and natural decision. Originally, most of the houses were all wooden, but by the mid of 18th century, the wooden houses were replaced by stone constructions. One of the first stone building in the area was St. Nicholas Naval Cathedral. This Baroque cathedral has been closely associated with the Russian Navy. In its upper church there are numerous memorial plaques, including those to the sunken crew of the Soviet submarines Komsomolets and Kursk. Unlike most of the churches and cathedrals in the Soviet Union, this one has never been closed, and the services were held even during the most brutal and militant years of the Soviet atheistic regime. The construction of the cathedral boosted the development of the district, but the most crucial part in its history was the construction of the Mariinsky Theatre and the conservatory in the last quarter of the 18th century. They were like magnets which attracted artistic crowd. In the 19th century, Kolomna became home for artists, actors, medium-level civil servants, students, and workers from the newly located shipyards. Kolomna was a very atmospheric and calm place. It welcomed people for lengthy slow walks and meditations. Alexander Pushkin and Nikolai Gogol were among those who loved to walk around here and who commemorated the districts in their poems, novels and short stories. Kolomna is still the island of calmness and tranquility. Right behind the historic building of Mariinsky Theatre, you can see the modern construction. This is the new stage of the Mariinsky. Citizen doesn't like the exterior of the building, and it was nicknamed the shopping mall. Both buildings are connected between each other by a glass bridge, unfortunately off-limit for the general public and just for the convenience of those walking in the theatre.
We are in a really interesting place right now. It's called Seven Bridges. You need to look around to see all of them. Let's try to count. See over there? And over there.
This is the only place in town where we can see so many bridges from the one spot. The reason behind it is simple. Here, Krukov Canal crosses Griboyedova Canal, and a bit further away we can see Fontanka River. We are at the Lutheran Church of St. John. Founded in the mid-19th century, it served the needs of the Estonian community living in the city at that time. It is considered the Estonian symbol of independence, as here, in 1988, Jakub Hurt made a call to resist the government Russification policy. In 1930, the church, alongside with many other temples all over the country, was closed. The belfry and portal were demolished. The building was repurposed for warehousing and workshops. This story, however, has a happy ending. In 2009, the building undergone nearly $9 million renovation and was reconsecrated in 2011 by Archbishop of Evangelical Lutheran Church of Estonia. Interestingly, as of 2014, St. John's Church belongs to Estonia. Just several steps away from the church is the concert hall of Mariinsky. The red brick building behind me used to be Mariinsky set workshop, opened in the year 1900. Unfortunately, in 2003 it was destroyed by the fire, alongside with some of the sets of Mariinsky theatre productions. In 2006, Mariinsky Concert Hall was built on the site, but the facade which we see now was carefully preserved. Let's walk further down the street and into the Alexeyevsky Garden. I couldn't resist sliding down the hill. It is one of the most beloved activities for all the kids in the wintertime. But let's walk a bit further. Right on the edge of the park, and actually the edge of Kolomna, on Moika embankment, stands a palace which architecture is very unusual for the city. It reminds somewhat of a French chateau. This is the palace of Grand Duke Alexei Alexandrovich, fourth son of Alexander II of Russia. Though the palace was declared a national landmark in 1968, it remained in utter disrepair. A major restoration was undertaken only in early 21st century. In 2008, the palace was reopened as the St. Petersburg Music House. Now it hosts classical music concerts. Here we leave Kolomna, and just across the bridge is the New Holland, one of the new developments of the city and a great modern recreational area. The New Holland is an artificial island. It was created in 1719 when the newly built Krukov Canal and Admiralty Canal connected Moika River with the Neva. Triangular Island took its name after a number of canals and shipbuilding facilities that rendered its appearance similar to Amsterdam. For almost 2 centuries, the island belonged to the Russian Admiralty, which adapted the area for its various needs. Originally, there was a minor shipyard for rowing boats. The New Holland didn't achieve its present appearance until the building of a naval prison in 1828 and a basin for naval architects in 1893. This basin is called Kovsh, and it was used for testing new models of ships. It is an interesting fact that the General Staff of the Navy constructed the most powerful radio station in Imperial Russia here on the New Holland Island in 1915. After the 1917 Russian Revolution, all the 18th century building of the New Holland Island fell into neglect. From 1918 to 2004, The Red Army and the Russian ground forces used the island as a mixed-use facility. Since 2010, the island is owned by Daria Zhukova's art foundation called Iris Foundation. The project of repurposing the island is planned to be completed by 2025, but even now it's a great place to spend free time on your own with friends or family. Iris Foundation has already restored several buildings. One of them is the former naval prison called the Bottle due to its shape. According to the legend, it was from here that the Russian phrase "don't get into the bottle" originated. It means do not overreact, don't be so rude in response. The inner courtyard now features a small stage for events. Each story of the building has been granted its own purpose and function. The first floor is given over entirely to gastronomy, while on the second floor you can leaf through art albums and comics, buy eco-friendly children toys or Scandinavian cheer. The third floor is the health, beauty and sports zone. Diana Vishneva's context ballet studio is also here. Other buildings host educational centers, kids club, bars, cafes and restaurants. The territory of the park is great both in summer and winter for grown-ups and kids. It hosts all kinds of open-air events, from concerts to film festivals. In the wintertime, from November till mid-March, the ice skating rink is open, and this is where we are heading to. Skating sessions are every second hour and last for 1 hour. We are right on time to get our tickets and put on the skates. As I don't have my own skates, I will have to rent a pair. Truly speaking, I'm very bad at ice skating, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying it. Ice skating is so popular here that the rinks can be found everywhere, in each corner of the city, even in the bedroom suburbs. Right now there are very few people here, as we are filming on a Thursday afternoon, when most of the people are at work. But on weekends, this rink and all the other rinks in town are full. To be absolutely sure that you get on the rink, it is better to book tickets in advance. Russians love winter activities, and the cold doesn't stop us. The city is so beautiful at the winter time, especially when it's really cold. The colder it is, the more sunshine we get, and that is very important in winter when the days are so short. The cold even makes us braver. We can cross the rivers on ice, and it's much funnier and faster than using the bridge. After an hour on a skating rink, when it's minus 14 centigrade or 7 Fahrenheit outside, I definitely need a bowl of hot soup. In the last couple of years, St. Petersburg made a huge improvement in restaurant business. There is a great number of really good eateries with amazing food, and new places keep on popping up. Among my favorites are Birch and Duo Asia. Both have been opened by the team of great chefs. Birch and other project by Duo team were listed in 50 Best Discovery by the British Restaurant magazine in 2019. As St. Petersburg is located quite far to the north, the winter nights here are long and dark. Luckily, the city is very well lit, and it adds to the winter magic. I was filming this in mid-January, when Christmas decorations were still there, and it's even more festive. Usually the decoration stays till January 15, as we celebrate Christmas on January 7, and on January 13th there is so-called Old New Year. Russian Orthodox Church still uses Julian calendar, hence the difference in dates, and 2 dates to celebrate New Year. The first is according to the Gregorian calendar, and then to Julian calendar. Let's walk from here, from New Holland, past St. Isaac's Cathedral and on to Nevsky, our main avenue, and end up the walk in the Palace Square. And I will show you how beautiful it is. There is one more place which I want to show you. It's my favorite bookstore called Subscription Editions. While all the tourists know about the House of Books, most of the reading crowd in town head to the Subscription Editions. The shop is located on Litany 57, which is in the center of the city. To my taste, this is the best bookstore in town. The selection and variety is great, from kids' books to art catalogs, from fiction to periodics. They also have books on foreign languages. The place is very atmospheric. You can grab a coffee, pick a book, and read it calmly next to the window, or go upstairs, watch people below, and read your books there. I couldn't resist and bought a bunch of books, both for me and my daughter.
Yesterday was a long day, and I hope you enjoyed that walk together with me. And I think I deserve a little treat. It tastes so good. And you know, it's actually better to eat it in the winter. It is not dripping.